Welcome back. Global Citizen Now, the summit that drives action to end world poverty, is returning to New York City today and tomorrow. The public and private sector will come together for 2 dynamic days focused on creating a world where everyone's basic needs are fulfilled. Can you imagine that? This year's event will feature major attendees, including the presidents of Rwanda and Botswana, actors Hugh Jackman, Dakota Johnson, and Michelle Yeoh, model, activist, and TV host Padma Lakshmi, and many, many more. And joining us now to talk about the event, we have the co-founder and CEO of Global Citizen, Hugh Evans. Also, Fran Katsoudas is back with us. She's Executive Vice President and Chief People Policy and Purpose Officer at Cisco and co-chair of the Global Citizen Board, and Wangari Kuria, the CEO of Farmers on Fire, who is also a Global Citizen Prize winner from Kenya. It's nice to meet you. Welcome to Morning Joe. Hugh, I'll start with you. Ending world poverty, it's all sounded so big at the beginning. Like, are you getting closer to being able to imagine your goals?
Well, firstly, thank you, Mika, for having us on your program this morning. And really, the eradication of extreme poverty is the greatest challenge of our generation, as Nelson Mandela said. And when I was born in 1983, 52% of the planet lived in extreme poverty. It plummeted to less than 12% before the pandemic. So we saw amazing progress. But obviously, we've seen a setback. And that's what today is all about with Global Citizen Now. We're calling together world leaders, business leaders, philanthropists, artists, and most importantly, our 12 million global citizens from all around the world to drive urgent action to end extreme poverty within our lifetime. And our whole focus of this year's summit is to achieve 3 big objectives. Firstly, we want to drive investment into Africa because we know that we need the G20 to step up urgently and increase their concessional loans to the 75 world's poorest countries at 0 or low interest rates, so that they can ultimately eradicate extreme poverty through a fund called IDA. Secondly, we want to protect the Amazon. And so we have many leaders from across Brazil coming to the summit today, all focused on trying to raise $1 billion to reforest the Amazon ahead of the COP meeting in Brazil next year. And then finally, we want to honor amazing Global Citizen Prize winners, including Wangari and so many others. And we're also tonight awarding the Cisco Youth Leadership Award, which honors an incredible young leader who's using technology to change the world for good.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your story. Fran, Cisco's helping with this, and I'm just curious, because Fran shows up to make sure it's all going good.
And she does, every time.
Yeah, rolls up her sleeves and gets involved. How can companies like Cisco help with these goals, and how is it going so far?
You know, I think when we look at some of the biggest challenges and some of the issues that Hugh mentioned, I think the realization that we have is that there is no one organization that can drive this type of change. And so it really comes down to the public and the private partnership with the engagement of communities around the world. And I think Global Citizen has become such a powerful convener, which I think is so incredibly important. And it allows us to come together on issues like education. It allows us to come together on issues where we together can have impact. What I find so fascinating, and I think for every company, you have to find what makes sense for you and your purpose. We know that technology is a huge part of Global Citizen and how you activate 12 million people. For us at Cisco, technology we've recognized is how people connect, how they have access to the digital economy, how they work on their jobs, healthcare. And so this connection, I think, is incredibly important as well, and something that we're committed to working on together.
And tech education, as it's always changing, so which is what you guys are incredibly involved with in many places around the world.
That's right. And I think the only other thing I would say is together we have put the spotlight on youth that are doing amazing things around the world. Tonight, the award will be going to Ricardo Alba Torres, who is working so hard to ensure that underrepresented communities have access to water. What he's doing that I love is that he's both building a business and doing good for the world. And I think that's something we believe in from a Cisco perspective as well.
So, Wangari, you were honored last year with the Global Citizen Prize for your work training and uplifting farmers, particularly women farmers in Kenya. And you're going to be taking part in the summit this week. Talk about your work and also how Global Citizen has impacted it.
Yes, first to say thank you for having us on your show.
Of course.
And immense gratitude to Global Citizen for giving us an amazing, amazing platform.
Nice.
We have seen transformational work before and after going through the prize. And for us, we have a sore spot for women in Africa because they are so disadvantaged, so marginalized. And we come in and try and see how can they gain a livelihood from agriculture. In my country, we have over 60% unemployment rate. People are shying away from agriculture, seen as a peasantry job, but we are here to make it cool and sexy and say you can make money, you can bring dignity to your family by doing agriculture.
This is very know your value, if I may. We need to partner. That's amazing. And this is what it's all about, right?
Everything.
I mean, because especially lifting up a woman.
Wangari is the most extraordinary leader. And as she said, she's bringing so many incredible women entrepreneurs to see agriculture as part of their livelihood. And I think Wangari represents the future of the global citizen movement because she has been leading her efforts across Kenya and now around the world.
Yes, we have over 1.2 farmer followers that we are coming in together, breaking the barriers in the industry, looking for policy, making sure that small-scale farmers are on the table of decision-making.
And you're sitting next to a leader in gender equity and education. Thank you, guys, so much. It's so fun. I love it. Enjoy your day today.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's going to be a big one. Hugh Evans, Fran Katsoudas, and Wangari Kuria. Thank you all very much for joining us. And for more on Global Citizen Now, visit globalcitizen.org. And coming up, a live report from Los